At a spring banquet, I fell for the newly appointed top scholar Zhang Yichu at first sight. To marry him, I sacrificed the centuries-old foundation of the Marquis Manor. But in 10 years of marriage, he made me live like a widow for 10 years. In the end, he sided with the rebel king, brought down my cousin the crown prince, and on a snowy night, led people to raid my family home. That was the day the Amping Marquis Manor was raided. The snow was falling heavily. Zhang Yichu had pretended to send word, telling me to flee with my parents. But when we escaped 20 li outside the city, what awaited us there were the executioners he had already ambushed. Zhang Yichu was dressed in cold, Dan weather clothes, his gaze sinister and fierce, the sharp blade in his hand gleaming with cold light. "Qin Sissy, you killed Wang Zhenzhen. How dare you still dream of being my equal partner?" I trembled all over in pain, yet still argued. "I didn't. I never harmed her." "You didn't do it yourself, but your parents forced her to death to pave the way for you." Zhang Yichu's eyes were bloodshot. Where was even a trace of the refined scholar from back then? The dagger in his hand fell with finality. "Let me see if your wicked heart is black." At that moment, the pain of a dead heart far exceeded the pain of death. Looking at my parents fallen in the wind and snow, I finally understood. The Sodzian called deep affection was nothing but a cover for his ambition. First bow to heaven and earth. The intense pain seemed to still linger in my chest. I suddenly opened my eyes. Before my eyes was not the overwhelming wind and snow, but red silk and wedding characters everywhere. I stood in the main hall of the Zhang family, wearing a phoenix crown and bridal veil, holding the red silk ribbon in my hand. Zhang Yichu's gentle urging came from beside me. "Sisi, it is time to bow to heaven and earth." I straightened my body and didn't move an inch. Rebirth, heaven has eyes. It brought me back to this moment of the wedding ceremony. Seeing that I kept delaying the bow, the guests began whispering among themselves. The crown prince's cousin asked with concern from the side, "Sisi, what is wrong?" I took a deep breath, suppressed the hatred in my eyes, and pretended to be alarmed. "Cousin, I just heard a commotion outside the door. I feel uneasy. Could you please send someone to check?" In my previous life, there was indeed a woman who came to disrupt the wedding. She was Zhang Yichu's first wife, Wang Zhen, back then. For the sake of the Marquis Manor's reputation, I had her driven away. That very night, she threw herself into the river and became the white moonlight forever in Zhang Yichu's heart. In this life, Zhang Yichu, you'll grant you your deep affection. Soon, the guards brought in a plainly dressed woman. She says her name is Wang Zhenzhen, and she is Lord Zhang's first wife. As soon as these words were spoken, the whole hall erupted in uproar. I lifted my bridal veil in one motion and threw away the red silk in my hand. Zhang Yichu's face instantly turned deathly pale. He stared fixedly at the woman, and there wasn't a trace of joy in his eyes. Only terror. Mother Zhang even shrieked. "Where did this crazy woman come from? Drag her away." I let out a cold laugh and stopped everyone. "Wait!" I walked before His Majesty, knelt respectfully, and spoke each word resolutely. "Your Majesty, Lord Zhang already has a lawful wife, with a marriage certificate as proof. Though this subject admires young Master Zhang, ye absolutely cannot do such a thing as stealing another's beloved. This marriage today, let it not happen then." Zhang Yichu looked at me in shock. "Sisi, Lord Zhang." I turned to look at him, saying with a cold face, "From now on, you cannot call me by my given name. It breaks propriety. Sisi, I only recognize you as my daughter Zan-in-Zan-La. My son only likes you in his heart. You can't just because you're upset." Mother Zhang finally put to use the ginger in her sleeve, tears flowing profusely. "Madam Zhang, watch your words," I said. I deliberately showed a trace of softness. Wang Zhenzhen met Lord Zhang when he was nobody. Supporting him through every stitch and thread, Lord Zhang will walk the path of a censorial official in the future. And the first requirement for censorial officials is to be upright and honest. If Lord Zhang abandons Wang Zhenzhen at this time, what will happen to his reputation? Moreover, Lord Zhang is the top scholar personally selected by His Majesty. If Lord Zhang gains a reputation for being heartless and fickle, wouldn't that make people question His Majesty? Mother Zhang only heard that I meant well for Zhang Yichu, and immediately fell silent. She probably thought that I still loved Zhang Yichu in my heart, and that there was still room for reconciliation between us in the future. The sovereign said, "Since that is the case, then let's do as Cici says. But since Cici has shown such righteousness today and suffered grievances, I shall grant her the title of County Princess, bestowing upon her the title de Zhao, so that all under heaven may learn from her virtue. Once the sage has spoken, it cannot be taken back." The handling of this matter was thus decided. This move is literally textbook-level retreat to advance. Cici's play was too brilliant. She didn't throw a tantrum on the spot, but instead stood on the moral high ground and used, for the sake of Lord Zhang's reputation, to completely corner him. Isn't this what we always call fighting magic with magic? And the result? Marriage cancelled, Scumbag's reputation trashed, and she even got promoted to county princess. This isn't just a marriage cancellation scene, this is clearly Cici's ascension to godhood. Now that is vision. That is business class operation. After leaving the palace, I got on my parents' carriage. Father complained to me, "Cici, if you're calling off the engagement, just call it off. Why did you have to give face to that Zhang guy? If it were up to your father, I would have told everyone under heaven about his marriage fraud, ruined that Zhang's reputation, and then thrown him into the court of judicial review. Father, he is Zhang Yichu, this dynasty's first top scholar from a poor family. Everyone under heaven sees him as the star of literature descended to earth. If you do that, aren't you afraid everyone will criticize the Marquis manner?" I said. Father frowned. He committed marriage fraud first. The common people aren't idiots who can't tell right from wrong. What could they possibly criticize the Marquis manner for? I said. Didn't he say so himself? He thought Wang Zhen was already dead. That is why he agreed to the marriage with me. We don't have solid evidence of his marriage fraud, so naturally people will accuse us of bullying others with our power. After hearing this, Mother pinched Father's arm. Listen to our daughter. At your age, your brain still doesn't work well. Not as thoughtful as our daughter. Besides, our Cici got herself a county princess today, so it is not much of a loss. Ow, ow, wife, pinch lighter. The clothes I'm wearing today are thin. Father cried out. Watching the two elders bickering, I thought of Wang Zhen's death in my previous life and couldn't help but ask, Father, Mother, if I insisted on marrying Zhang Yichu, would you have driven Wang Zhen to her death? Drive her to death for what? A woman with no background whatsoever, my father said disdainfully while dodging my mother's nails. I was stunned. In my previous life, Zhang Yichu said that Wang Zhen's death looked like suicide, but was actually caused by my parents driving her to it. I had asked my parents about it, and they admitted that after hearing about the drama at the Zhang family's door, they went to see Wang Zhen. So I thought Wang Zhen's death in my previous life was really related to my parents. I was so foolish. Sigh, in the end we still let that Zhang guy off easy, my parents said dejectedly. Not cheap. I sneered. Our amping Marquis manner. How could we let people push us around? Old Li drive the carriage to the Zhang family's place, and also arrange for someone to return to the manor to relay the Marquis's verbal order. Have Steward Zhou bring lots of guards to the Zhang family, to move things. Dad's eyes immediately lit up. That is right, the marriage is off. We gotta take back our family's dowry. Let's go move it now. Not just the dowry, Zhang Yichu hasn't been an official for long. Buying this mansion used up all his salary and rewards. I was thinking Cici would marry over there, so I kept sending things to the Zhang manor to furnish it. As my mom said this, the expression on her face was both hateful and excited. Now that the marriage is off, those things naturally need to be moved back. I'm afraid after we're done moving, the Zhang manor will be bare, nothing left except the walls. My mom wasn't exaggerating. Even the flowers and plants in the Zhang manor's garden were tended by the Marquis manor's gardeners. thinking we could make the Zhang family lose such big face. Our whole family got excited. The entrance of the Zhang manor became lively again. However, this time what everyone was discussing was no longer how much our Marquis Manor was bullying people with our power. The things belong to Amping Marquis Manor. Now they want to take them back. It is very reasonable. Miss Qin is now the Dezhao princess, personally conferred by His Majesty. His Majesty said everyone in the world must learn from her virtue. Her acting this way is without problem. Zhang's mother watched as box after box of dowry was carried away, watched as the plants and trees in the garden were dug up, watched as the Taihu stones from the rockery were carried away, watched as her favorite sandalwood canopy bed was dismantled and taken away, and couldn't hold it in anymore. She plopped down on the ground, about to burst into tears. Zhang Yichu was someone who cared deeply about face, naturally unwilling to let people see this embarrassment. So he grabbed Zhang's mother and had Wang Zhen take her upstairs to rest. Zhang's mother didn't dare scold her son, so she took it out on Wang Zhen. Her rough hands from farm work twisted heavily on Wang Zhen's arm, and Wang Zhen's face contorted in pain instantly. But she didn't make a sound and helped Zhang's mother upstairs. After supervising the guards to move everything, my parents happily took me away from the Zhang residence. On the carriage ride home, my mother sneered. Just now that guy surnamed Zhang was still staring at our sissy's back with affectionate eyes. Really makes people laugh their heads off. That kind of scumbag actually wants to enjoy the blessing of having multiple wives. PFFT, good thing Sissy didn't turn around, letting his whole performance go to waste? Mother, Zhang Yichu only loves Wang Zhen, I said. In the previous life, Zhang Yichu only showed tenderness in his eyes when looking at Wang Zhen's belongings. My mother said with certainty, just you wait, the Zhang residence's days ahead will only be chaotic and miserable. Returning to the Amping Marquis Mare, moved back into my boudoir. The festive decorations inside hadn't been taken down yet. Mom and Dad were worried I'd be upset seeing them, so they sent me to the waterside pavilion to feed the pond fish while they personally led the servants to redecorate. I watched the swimming fish, replaying everything that happened today in my mind. My heart was pounding, reminding me that I was still alive. I discovered today that Zhang Yichu wasn't that powerful after all. When I didn't love him, he couldn't touch the Marquis Manor or the Crown Prince in the slightest. In my past life, I was wrong. Me mindless infatuation with him harmed my family, and I'm willing to repent. As I was thinking, I remembered what Mother said this afternoon. That guy surnamed Zhang was still staring at our Cece's back with such tender affection. Why would he? Does he still expect me to change my mind about him? But doesn't he love Wang Zhen? My eyelid twitched inexplicably, and I called out loudly for Chaoji. Chaoji is my personal maid. She was walking this way holding mosquito-repellent incense. Hearing me call, she simply broke into a jog. Miss, what is wrong? What is wrong? You were standing by my side the whole time today. I said to her. Let me ask you, after Wang Zhen appeared today, did Zhang Yichu not say a single word to Wang Zhen from start to finish? Seems like it. Chaoji's expression became worried. Miss, you're not thinking Lord Zhang is good again, are you? I'd have to have water on the brain to think he is good. I waved my hand in disgust, then said, go find Qi Zhang and have him bring a few people to infiltrate the Zhang family and keep an eye on Wang Zhen. Learning that I didn't want to reconcile with Zhang Yichu, Chao Ji breathed a sigh of relief and hurried off to find Qi Zhang. Qi Zhang is my wet nurse's son. He learned martial arts from an escort master since childhood, and his mind is quite sharp. He is the most suitable for this task. Father and mother started looking for a husband for me again through Sun Mi. Their intention was to find someone 10 times better than Zhang Yichu, to prove to the world that I, Qin Sissy, even after breaking off the engagement with Zhang Yichu, am still a noble lady shining like a pearl. I refused. I said to my parents, I'm already the Dezhao princess personally conferred by the emperor. Who would dare look down on me because of breaking off the engagement with Zhang Yichu? Mother earnestly said, my child, You don't understand how harsh and difficult this world is for women. No. They're the ones who don't understand. They think I only went through a broken engagement. In reality, I experienced the hatred of having my family raided and exterminated, and the pain of having my heart gouged out. Although not all men in the world are like Zhang Yichu, having finally been reborn and gotten my life back, I don't want to gamble on a man's character again. But I didn't tell my parents these things. I was afraid they'd worry. I said to my parents, "After going through this, I want to stay home and keep you company for a couple more years. The family's pearl business has been running at a loss for years. Why not let me handle it? It'll give me something to do every day." In the end, my parents love me, and they agreed to my request. Just as I was requesting to review the account books of all the Marquis Manor's shops in Shengjing, something happened to Wang Zhenzhen. Qizhong sent someone to notify me that Zhang Yichu took Zhang's mother and Wang Zhenzhen to Xiangyun Temple outside the city to burn incense, saying the master there was skilled at dispelling bad luck. On the way back, Zhang's mother used the excuse of relieving herself to lure Wang Zhenzhen to a secluded cliff by the mountain path. And then Zhang Yichu actually tried to kill her. I was shocked and couldn't quite believe my ears. "Why would Zhang Yichu kill Wang Zhenzhen?" the messenger said to me. Seventh brother used a hidden weapon to deflect that Zhang fellow's blade by 2 inches. So it wasn't fatal. Then secretly managed to rescue Wang Zhen and brought her to the estate to recover. Seventh brother asks, "Miss, do you have other instructions, or do you want to go see for yourself?" "I'll go take a look," I said. I put down the account books and went to the estate with Qiaoji. Wang Zhen was seriously injured, but at least her life was saved. When she saw me, she got a bit emotional, and her eyes immediately turned red. Zhang Yichu really is a scumbag. Seeing Wang Zhenzhen like this, I immediately thought of myself in my previous life. In my previous life, I was wholeheartedly infatuated with Zhang Yichu, which is why I ended up with that fate. Wasn't Wang Zhenzhen also wholeheartedly infatuated with Zhang Yichu? I suddenly wanted to give her a hand. I sat on the chair that Qizhong brought over and said to Wang Zhen, "Zhang Yichu wants to kill you. He is rotten to the core. Do you want to leave him? If you do, I can help you get a divorce. You have embroidery skills, and I can also let you work as a female manager in a shop. If you leave Zhang Yichu, you can live a better life." However, as soon as I finished speaking, Wang Zhen's eyes changed. She looked at me with sudden realization, saying through gritted teeth, "So that is why Zhang Lang wanted to kill me. It turns out this is your conspiracy, County Princess de Zhao." She accused me hysterically. "Your amping Marquis manner is truly disgusting. First you returned Zhang Lang to me in front of His Majesty to gain a good reputation. Then you set up this whole scheme to trick me into divorcing Zhang Lang. Once Zhang Lang divorces me, you two can be together again. County Princess de Zhao, doing this will bring divine retribution upon you." I was stunned. Never in a million years did I expect Wang Zhen would react like this. Zhang Yichu was clearly the one who hurt her, yet she didn't hate Zhang Yichu one bit. I was clearly the one who saved her, yet she speculated about me with the worst possible intentions. Qiaoji was also stunned. She pointed at Wang Zhenzhen's nose and scolded, "Open your dog eyes and see clearly standing before you is County Princess de Zhao, who is of noble birth, talented and beautiful. Not to mention, she already doesn't fancy your Zhang Lang. But even if she really wanted to compete with you for Zhang Lang, she wouldn't need to use such dirty and convoluted methods. So, what if you're a princess? Aren't you still fighting over a man with me, an embroiderer?" Wang Zhenzhen said with a curl of her lip. "You really don't know what is good for you. Our princess kindly wanted to." Qiaoji still wanted to explain for me, but I stopped her. I saw my past life self in Wang Zhenzhen, so I wanted to help her. But now it seems she is completely different from my past life self. I was just foolish, but she is malicious. She clearly knows in her heart that Zhang Yichu wanted to kill her, but to whitewash Zhang Yichu in her mind, she deliberately dragged me into this, pretending everything was a conspiracy I designed to steal her man. If that is the case, why should I still help her? tend to her injuries. Once they don't affect her movement, send her back to the Zhang family. I instructed Qizhong. Then I took Chaoji to pick early peaches to eat. It is rare to come to the estate. Can't come for nothing. Seeing this, I feel that Wang Zhenzhen is truly both hateful and lamentable. She is hopelessly stupid and shamelessly wicked. Zhang Yichu was about to kill her, yet she doesn't hate that scumbag who tried to murder her one bit. Instead, she vents all her resentment on the female lead who saved her, immediately accusing her of scheming to steal her man, trampling on the female lead's kindness, and even turning around to slander the amping Marquis manor. It is not that she can't see the truth, she just doesn't dare face Zhang Yichu's callousness and viciousness. She can only numb herself by smearing her benefactor and whitewashing the scumbag, clinging desperately to that illusory bit of affection and refusing to let go. The female lead was absolutely right. She was just foolish in her past life. But Wang Zhen is truly malicious, interpreting kindness with the worst intentions and defending the person who hurt her with the most absurd reasons. This kind of person simply can't be pulled back and isn't worth saving. Chaoji gnawed on a peach while cursing. That guy surnamed Zhang is just a rotten person. That day I saw the Zhang family's attitude toward Wang Zhen. Wasn't good at all. And that guy surnamed Zhang just let his mother take her anger out on Wang Zhenzhen. Which shows he doesn't really love Wang Zhenzhen. Does Wang Zhen have something wrong with her brain? She can't even see this clearly. She was cursing Zhang Yichu and Wang Zhen. But I felt like my past self was also being criticized. But Zhang Yichu didn't love Wang Zhenzhen. My heart suddenly started pounding. Then is it possible that in the previous life, the one who killed Wang Zhenzhen was Zhang Yichu? Before I could question Wang Zhenzhen in detail, he killed her, disguised it as her taking her own life, then put on a heartbroken act. In front of me, he hinted that my parents forced Wang Zhen to her death for my sake. In front of my parents, he hinted that I was the one who drove Wang Zhenzhen to her death. Feeling guilty, I would humble myself to make it up to him. To ensure my happiness, my parents would spare no effort in promoting him. When he killed me, he looked exactly like a devoted lover. He hated me and the Marquis manor so genuinely because he had even deceived himself. He believed that without me, Wang Zhenzhen wouldn't have died. He is so terrifying, I murmured to myself. Chaoji was frightened by my appearance. She stopped eating her peach and anxiously called out to me. County Princess, are you in a daze? Don't scare me. I wiped the corners of my eyes and snapped back to reality. Finally, I understood. Zhang Yichu is a rotten person. He doesn't love me. Nor does he love Wang Zhenzhen. What he loves is power and influence. All of us are just his stepping stones. Chaoji, let's return to the Marquis manor. I'm afraid someone has already come calling, I said. Upon returning to the Marquis manor, Zhang Yichu had indeed come calling, but my parents didn't let him in. He carried a bundle of thorns on his back, imitating General Lian bearing thorns to plead guilty. Sissy, he called my name with a face full of joy. I ignored him, walked right past him, and went up. So he continued kneeling. How disgusting. Chaoji said huffily. Going up to the manor to see father and mother, they were also angry. Mother said angrily, if I'd known, I shouldn't have married your father back then. After being married to him for so many years, what use is he? Seeing father hanging his head, I was a bit confused. Shouldn't you be angry at Zhang Yichu? How come you're fighting with each other? Zhang Yichu is infuriating, and so is your father, mother said. That guy, surnamed Zhang, ran to the Marquis Manor's entrance and put on this act. Clearly up to no good. I told your father to figure out a way to get rid of him. And it has been half a shichen already, yet your father hasn't come up with a single reliable solution. Father couldn't help but defend himself. With so many common people watching, I can't just knock him out and drag him away, can I? Then what do we do? He is now saying Wang Zhen took all the family's money and ran off with someone, but they couldn't split the loot evenly. When he caught up, He saw with his own eyes that man kill Wang Zhen and push her off a cliff. No, he is repenting, professing his love for Sissy. If he is determined to keep kneeling, others will only say the Marquis manor is heartless. Say, my daughter, Sissy is heartless. As mother spoke, her eyes reddened. She'd been a noble lady her whole life, and this was the first time she'd encountered someone like a dog's and skin plaster. Zhang Yichu truly lives up to being a censorial official. With just a few words he painted himself as a deeply devoted victim. If he wants to kneel, let him kneel, I said. Wang Zhen's injuries will take about 10 days to heal before she can get out of bed. So let Zhang Yichu kneel for 10 days then. After all, this is what he owes us. After my parents learned that Wang Zhen didn't die, they immediately stopped arguing and happily ate 2 extra bowls of rice. They deliberately had the servants bring braised pork to eat at the main gate, to make Zhang Yichu drool with envy. I continued sorting through the shop's account books. I spent 3 days finishing all the account books, then sent loyal servants to the South Sea and East Sea to secretly stockpile large quantities of high Zan quality pearls at any cost. If I remember correctly, in half a year there will be bandits along the coast, and for the next year or two, no new pearls will enter the market. Wealthy nobles need pearls year Zan round for their headdresses, jewelry, clothing, and hats. In no time, pearl prices will multiply dozens of times. Especially high Zan quality South Sea and East Sea pearls will become priceless with no supply available. I'm investing all the shop's silver into this, just to take advantage of this opportunity to make a fortune. In my previous life, the Crown Prince's downfall, one of the most critical charges against him, was that he misappropriated military funds meant for border troops to help disaster victims in Jizhou, who suffered from snowstorms. He had no money in hand, there was no other way. But the Marquis Manor and the Crown Prince share both glory and loss. Since I've been reborn, if I want to preserve the Marquis Manor, I must earn lots and lots of money, and before the Crown Prince ascends the throne, pile up political achievements for him with money. After sending everyone out, I gathered the old master craftsmen from the jewelry shop, and had them work on new styles and designs. The Marquis Manor's shops were poorly managed, and a big reason was that the jewelry styles in the shops were all too old Zan fashioned. The ladies and misses of Shengjing were already tired of them. On the 5th day, Chaoji told me that Mother Zhang felt sorry for her son, and was kneeling at the Marquis Manor's entrance together with Zhang Yichu. On the 7th day, my cousin the Crown Prince came to find me. He said that censors in the court were already impeaching my father, and regardless of what happened before, allowing the top scholar's orphan and widow to kneel at the Marquis Manor's entrance was giving people something to talk about. My parents heard this and didn't take it to heart. They took out some chilled peaches and invited the Crown Prince to munch on peaches together. On the 9th day, His Majesty sent his personal attendant to remind my father to be mindful of the impact. On the 10th day, Qizhong said that Wang Zhen's injuries had improved considerably, and she could return to Shengjing to end this farce. I went to the kitchen to find a piece of ginger and rubbed it on the corners of my eyes, immediately making my eyes water from the sting. The time had come. It was time to grind Zhang Yichu into the mud. After kneeling for 10 days, Zhang Yichu looked utterly haggard. When he saw me walking toward him, a barely noticeable hint of smugness flashed in his eyes. Yesterday, the attendant by His Majesty's side came to the door. He should have seen it. He probably thinks he has got me and my parents under his thumb. At this moment, a crowd of onlookers had already gathered behind him. Cece, you're finally willing to see me. Does that mean you've forgiven me? Zhang Yichu said as soon as he opened his mouth. The onlookers looked at me expectantly. For thousands of years, people watching the drama have always been like this, completely disregarding the woman's wishes, wishfully wanting a reconciliation ending for the protagonists. Lord Zhang, what do you want me to forgive you for? I said with red eyes, feeling wronged. That day in front of His Majesty, we already made everything crystal clear. From then on, we have nothing to do with each other. Instead of going to your post at the Imperial Clan Court for roll call, You inexplicably run to my Marquis Manor's gate to kneel on your own. Are you trying to put me and my parents in an unjust position? Zhang's mother cried out from the side. You woman, my son gave up his job for you. Doesn't care about his old mother anymore. How can you be so cold, blooded and heartless? I never told him to neglect his job and his mother. Do I have to take responsibility for that too? I said with tears in my eyes. He makes such a scene. Everyone scolds me for being cold and blooded. My parents also say I'm causing trouble for the family. I clearly didn't do anything. Aren't I wronged? Sissy? Zhang Yichu looked at me and said affectionately. I know you're still sulking with me because of Wang Zhenzhen. But that Wang Zhenzhen came to Shangjing looking for me with ill intentions from the start. She is already dead now. There are no more obstacles between us. If you continue to ignore me because of this, wouldn't you be falling right into her trap? I was disgusted and almost couldn't keep up the act. Fortunately, a gong sounded, and Qizhong appeared with Wang Zhen just in time, diverting everyone's attention. Who said Wang Zhenzhen is dead? Wang Zhenzhen is right here. Zhang Yichu turned his head and saw Wang Zhen. His pupils instantly dilated as if he'd seen a ghost. Mother Zhang cried out, "A corpse has come back to life," and collapsed to the ground, utterly disheveled. Wang Zhen's explanation to everyone was that she went to the temple to offer incense, encountered bandits on the road, narrowly escaped death before being rescued, and finally made it back to Shangjing. At a time like this, she didn't dare implicate me. She was afraid of provoking me into competing with her for the man. She also didn't dare tell the truth. She was afraid Zhang Yichu wouldn't want her. But even so, the favorable public opinion Zhang Yichu had worked so hard to create backfired on him in an instant. So the top scholar is someone who climbs the social ladder. He couldn't even be bothered to find his first wife's body. Yet he slandered her, delusionally hoping to remarry Princess Dezhao. Good thing the Marquise's manor withstood the pressure and refused to see him. Otherwise they'd be dragged down and humiliated along with him right now. No wonder His Majesty didn't arrange for him to go to the Hanlin Academy or the censorate. Turns out he saw through his poor character early on. The onlookers started discussing, and that last sentence was deliberately said by someone I arranged. Either way, His Majesty's face needs to be fully preserved. I mockingly glanced at Zhang Yichu, whose face was ashen, and said to him in front of everyone, Wang Zhenshen has both shown kindness to Lord Zhang, and shares the bond of husband and wife with him. She has already encountered mountain bandits twice as a daughter Zan and Zan Law of your Zhang family. As her husband, you need to be more attentive. Otherwise people who don't know better might think you're trying to cross the river and tear down the bridge for wealth and glory. After delivering this warning, I felt extremely satisfied. These two will be thoroughly bound together from now on, tormenting each other. Look at me, how kind I am. After Rebirth, I've fulfilled the deep affection between two people. The matter of Wang Zhenzhen not being dead reached His Majesty's ears. As soon as Wang Zhenzhen returned, Zhang Yichu changed his story about Wang Zhenzhen absconding with money. His Majesty and the censors were furious at the same time. Thus, Zhang Yichu became the first top scholar of this dynasty to be stripped of his position and sent back to his hometown. Amidst Zhang's mother's wailing and crying, Zhang Yichu packed his belongings and left the capital dejectedly with her and Wang Zhenzhen. Before he left, he still wanted to see me one more time. But before reaching the Marquis Manor's entrance, a flowered Zan-selling child recognized him and shouted, Zhang, the bedbug wants to come mooch off the amping Marquis Manor again! And immediately, the surrounding common folk gathered around and threw rotten vegetable leaves at him. So he could only give up his plan to see me. Zhang Yichu wasn't someone who would honestly give up. I had Kajong disguise himself as a traveling merchant and secretly follow him. Sure enough, shortly after leaving Shangjing City, Zhang Yichu sent his old mother and Wang Zhen back to their hometown Shenzhou, while he himself turned and went to Chaozhou. Chaozhou was Prince Li's fief. He wanted to rely on colluding with Prince Li to return to Shangjing. As for Zhang's mother and Wang Zhenzhen, Zhang's mother blamed Wang Zhenzhen entirely for Zhang Yichu's downfall, either beating or scolding her. Wang Zhenzhen firmly believed Zhang Yichu loved her, and that Zhang's mother hurt her like this to break them apart. So she endured it all, not only endured it, but also burned the midnight oil doing embroidery to exchange for money, so Zhang's mother could continue living like an old titled lady back home. She felt that being so filial, once Zhang Yichu knew about it, he would definitely treat her well. When I heard about these things, the first batch of people purchasing pearls had already returned from the coast. When my parents found out I'd hoarded so many pearls, they were a bit panicked and advised me that one shouldn't be too greedy in business. But with my insistence, they ultimately let me have my way. Anyway, there are 3 people in the manor: 2 county princesses and 1 marquis. The court gives us annual stipends every year, so even if I mess up all the marquis manor's businesses, the family won't starve to death. Probably with this mindset, my parents figured out of sight, out of mind, and went off traveling everywhere, under the pretext of escaping the summer heat. By the time October passed, large groups of bandits appeared along the coast, and pearl production was greatly affected. I divided the pearls I'd stockpiled into batches and released them in limited quantities each month. Pearl prices kept rising higher and higher, and I made a fortune. I was practically the richest woman in all of Dazhao. With my financial support, the crown prince became increasingly smooth sailing in court, successfully handling several impressive tasks and receiving praise from His Majesty. Crown Prince Cousin knew that most of it was thanks to me, so he treated me even better. Whatever good things he had, he'd send them to the Marquis Manor like flowing water. After the Crown Princess finished her postpartum confinement, she also became very close to me. Whenever there was a banquet, she'd always have me sit next to her. The nobles of Shangjing saw how this couple treated me, so their attitude toward me gradually became respectful too. When my parents had their fill of traveling and wanted to come back to Suinmimi, a husband's family, they discovered there were hardly any families in Shangjing who dared to marry me. For one, no one dared to take away His Highness the Crown Prince's money bag. For another, they thought that since I was so opinionated in business, I probably wouldn't be too gentle and soft as a wife. My parents were worried, but I was quite happy. Having experienced my previous life, I don't want to get married now. I'm clearly a capable woman too. So, why should I have to marry a man and then lock myself away in a tiny backyard from then on, managing his household for him? I used to think women should be like this, but now I'm being somewhat rebellious. I don't think they deserve such sacrifice from me. I persuaded my parents. I'm now Princess Dezhao, the legitimate daughter of a marquis household, the crown prince's legitimate cousin. Any man in the world who dares harm me will be sentenced to execution after autumn. But if I marry someone, I'll become someone else's wife. And even if my husband beats me, you can only summon him to scold him, then give him lots of benefits to make him treat me better. So, you see, getting married isn't necessarily a good thing. My parents couldn't find words to respond to me, and gradually, they just let me be. They started frequenting the orphanage, picking some children to bring back and raise. Parents who love their children plan far ahead for them. They worried that after they pass away, I would be lonely. 10 years later, a snowstorm disaster broke out in Jizhou. With my support, His Highness the Crown Prince not only didn't misappropriate the border soldiers' military pay, but also gave each soldier an extra cotton coat. This cotton coat completely won over the hearts of the military generals. This was Prince Li's last card. After playing this card, not only did it fail to bring down the Crown Prince, but it made him lose the military generals who supported him. His Majesty's health has been getting worse, and he has seen all the Crown Prince's political achievements over these years. So, at this year's New Year's Eve palace banquet, he personally announced the news that the Crown Prince would oversee the state. According to this dynasty's rules, once overseeing the state, no one can shake the Crown Prince's position as heir anymore. The Crown Prince is secure, and the Marquis Manor is secure too. On the 7th day of the new year, Qizhong came back. He was covered in wind and snow, but people are in high spirits when good things happen. He told me that Prince Li's retainers left one after another. Zhang Yichu didn't want to leave. He urged Prince Li to go for broke and directly raise troops to rebel. Besides a few hundred private soldiers, Prince Li had no troops he could mobilize at all. Zhang Yichu was pushing Prince Li onto a dead end. Prince Li didn't accept Zhang Yichu's suggestion. To show loyalty to the crown prince, he executed Zhang Yichu in front of the officials of his fief. Zhang Yichu died. On the day I heard the news of his death, he was reviewing the new season's account books. Outside the window, heavy snow was falling again. Just like that desperate night in my previous life, the maid carefully asked me, "Princess, are you sad?" I put down my brush, looked at the dancing flames in the charcoal basin, and smiled faintly. Dead is dead. In this life, I'm no longer anyone's wife. I'm Chin Sissy of the Amping Marquis Manor. I have vast wealth, and my loved ones are safe and well. This is the life I want. This ending is so satisfying. Dead is dead. These 4 words are simply the highlight of the entire book. What romance and love. How can they compare to making money and building a career? But hey, I know some of you might still be thinking, what if life could have more possibilities? If you were Qin Fangru, sitting on a fortune and top-tier power, which lifestyle would you choose? Tell me your choice in the comments. Just like in the story, men will only slow down my sword drawing speed. I want to be the first female tycoon of Great Zhao, expand business overseas, and even sponsor several women's schools to help more people. B. Since I am already the Crown Prince's biggest sponsor, why not go further? I also want to be like Shangguan Waner. Even if I don't marry, I still want a place in the imperial court, truly controlling my own destiny. See, revenge is done, money is made. Hand the business over to professional managers, take mom and dad to travel the world, go see the deserts of the western regions, the misty rain of Jiangnan. That is true freedom. I am choosing C. After all, life is short. Carpe diem. What about you guys? Drop a comment quickly. See you next time.